And the league is right now is missing a lot of leaders. It's not a lot of leaders on this team. They just playing. Everybody just run them down court like kids.
We used to have an NBA that was really entertaining to watch, gripping. We would wait for games. Like I would wait for every single game of my favorite team. And I was literally nervous beforehand. The anticipation was insane. There were storylines behind everything, and players hating each other, trying to win by any means necessary. We had players be tough on defense, bordering on extreme and dangerous at times, especially if you were a high flyer like Michael Jordan. We had players for whom it was a sign of weakness to show pain and sit a game out. We had players wanting to play with a broken foot because they were so competitive.
Once I got that confidence and the feeling in the foot was getting stronger as I continued to play, it wasn't nothing anyone could have said that could stop
He would be 100% healthy, but the x-rays that were taken on his foot show that the fracture is, although healing very well, not completely healed.
If it's re-injured, it could conceivably take longer to heal, and it may not heal by natural processes and require surgery. And even that's not a 100% guarantee that it'll heal properly.
It's hard to imagine that 6 weeks ago you were sitting on the bench.
Yes, it is. It's very hard for me to imagine. I'm very happy I'm playing now, and I'm very happy that I can contribute to the
team. That's Michael Jordan. Players had toughness, a strong mindset, and a will to fight like no other. These days, we have this.
Another fine for Lebron James on the flop right
there. And blaming coaches, and blaming teammates. And while keeping quiet the whole finals series after you actually lose, why would you come up with an excuse to everyone that you had a broken hand, but it was never apparent, never visible, never recognizable in any way during the games? Yes, the rules in the NBA have changed. I really think the weakness and wokeness that has crept into all the other areas of our life has also crept into the NBA. Listen, for example, to Charles Oakley explain how the NBA wants to literally get rid of old school basketball players, old school guys from the NBA, to be able to implement the softest era of basketball ever.
And the league is right now is missing a lot of leaders. It's not a lot of leaders on this team. They just playing. Everybody just run them down court like kids, but they just making a lot more money.
Right.
So these teams get more leaders. They getting all the old guys out of the game, cause we can speak up.
Right.
So when somebody speak up, they try to spank you. So I know because they told me, oh, you this, you that. I said, I'm gonna be myself. I respect you, I'm doing my job. So it is what it is, So they try to push you out the whole thing, and we need to clean up these guys, old guys, they just making it hard on us. No, we just trying to teach the young guys how to be a professional.
All these rule changes might lead to higher scoring, but the game has become much less entertaining. There is no true competition these days anymore. Everything seems to be scripted, and it's being mentioned more and more and more and over and over and over, that everything just looks scripted. Another thing that needs mentioning is that all these records being broken now, better field goal percentages and all that, is basically worthless because they're happening in the softest era with almost zero defense.
I think it's just not a lot of defense being played. Teams are scoring like it's freaking 1960s or 70s. Like it's 132 to 112, 142 to 121. It's just like there's no defense. Like there's just none. Then we go into a Utah-Boston game, we're playing and it's 86 to 92, what I mean? You just see the difference in just the effort in every single night, which I get from an NBA player standpoint, the amount of games we play, but it's just sometimes you have to make guys miss. Like, guys, like, we're all NBA players. If you see a open look at the rim, I'm pretty sure we're gonna knock it down over 50% of the time if it's wide open.
Many delicate LeBron fans keep bringing up the fact that MJ was able to dominate his era because of the NBA changing the rules for him, which allowed him to do that. Except adding the flagrant foul rule to literally protect the lives of the players. What other rules have been changed then for Michael Jordan? I do have to mention two rules that were implemented thanks mostly because of this era's GOAT, LeBron the Soft James. Rule number one, the anti-flopping rule. The game has become so soft these days that the offensive players, especially the flop king LeBron James, has forced the league's hand. The league had no choice. They had to step in and implement a rule protecting defenders from players lying and faking fouls. That's what had to happen. That's how soft it is. They don't get fouled enough, so they have to pretend, lie, and fake fouls. Rule number two that got implemented under LeBron James era is the anti-load management rule.
Are you a fan of just load management?
No.
You're a fan of?
No.
You don't like load
dump
management?
Truck management, that's about it. Load man, I mean, it's a different time. I mean, you just guy making $40, $50 million, and I think that you should want to play. Right. People paying your salary. The kids come to the game. They want to see you, especially when like East Coast come, West Coast come to East, or East Coast go West. You got to play these games, especially the team you want to play once on the home, once on the road. You got to play these games, but I think they allowed into the business now because they got league got so soft. As the players leave, they get what they want. So I feel sorry for the fans. I'm apologizing from the old school guys that y'all had to go through this.
One that was overused by the likes of LeBron James, especially earlier in his career a little. And for this one, I'm not only blaming LeBron James, but he has a big part in it. No wonder that we have players these days score more points, shoot better percentages, and have longer careers if they can barely be touched and defended. Listen to the commentary during these Olympics we're watching now. I was watching one of the games, I believe it was against Serbia. It was a tough foul. Somebody from the US team got fouled, and the commentators were literally saying sometimes the NBA players are not used to some of the contact they see in international games, and that some plays will be called a flagrant foul in the NBA when they were called a common foul in the Olympics, playing against European teams. Boy, how far the NBA has fallen these days. It was used to the opposite. The NBA was the tough league. Now they're talking about it like the NBA is so soft that it's tough for them to adjust to deal with the rules of FIBA. That's insane. The NBA has fallen these days mostly due to overhyping one guy. As John Stockton said, he didn't climb the mountain, he took a helicopter. And you can figure that one out yourself. Think of what that means. It doesn't mean that he took a faster route, it means he took a much easier route. A cheating route. You don't climb the mountain, you don't go through the whole process. The NBA is creating rules that are getting us closer and closer to defensive players becoming like practice cones, not being able to do anything but stand there. And if they will, the offensive players like LeBron will just get close to them, flop, and pretend he hit a brick wall. NBA is becoming almost unwatchable and softer than cotton candy. There is no comparison to what it used to be. And I'm not just talking about the 90s. The 80s, the 90s, even the 2000s was much better. We had Kobe then. We still had Garnett. We had tough guys in the NBA. Right now, they're almost all gone. Everybody's just crying and complaining. I'll be honest right now, and maybe some of you won't like this take, but I hope all of this changes once LeBron leaves the league. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait until that happens.